Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Hopefully you like what I have to say on my experience with Vitex and taking other supplements and why I strongly believe that's why I'm pregnant. But yeah, hope you like it. So in this video I will be talking about, I don't know if the hearing's okay or anything. You're just gonna see me looking down quite a lot because I have like my notes and everything that I'm going to try to just stay on track on what I need to say, make sure I say everything I need to say. So like I said, this is all based off my experience, because I've had the same thing of being irregular periods and everything like that. So but yeah, in this video I will be talking about how I think I got pregnant with irregular periods and how taking Vitex and other supplements is what helped me get to conceive. So first things first, a quick summary on me. My name is Veronica. I'm married. I've been with my husband, not married, but we've been together a total of 6 years and married for 3. So I've known my husband since junior year of high school, so in a way you can kind of call us high school sweethearts, because we started off as like best friends and all that spiel. That's a whole other video if you guys are ever curious about that. But yeah, we were happily together. Just being together, we tried to be as safe as possible. When we started dating, I went straight into birth control, to stay safe, because we didn't want an accident. We didn't want any kids right away. We really wanted to just enjoy each other. I come from a very big family everybody who's had surprises, just having fun. So we wanted to prevent that. So I went on birth control. My first birth control ever at 18 was the IUD, and the IUD story is a whole other story on its own as well, because they hurt a lot. So but yeah, I had the IUD for about 2 years, and then I had an accident and have to get it removed right away, and then I switched on to pills, and then I was on the pills for a while. I stayed on the pills for about 6 months, and in general, just going back before I even got on birth control, I already had irregular periods, so I would go 6 months to every 6 months, or every 8 months I'd only get like 1 or 2 periods, or none at all. Just all varied and dependent on time of the year. I mean, for a teenager, that was the best thing ever. You didn't have to worry about periods, you didn't have to do any of that. But when you do the research on it, it's really not fun. It actually affects your body in a lot of ways not to have periods. So I got kind of a little more concerned once we got married, and once we hit to the point where we actually wanted to try to conceive. And then I started doing all the research, and oh wow, I probably should have tried to regulate my periods at a younger age than what I am now, because I did suffer, even going 1 period every 6 months, I'd get severe cramping, almost so bad I would almost be bedridden. And I never went to the doctors to get it checked because I don't like doctors. So, and then I was always afraid of them telling me that I had like PCOS or anything severe like that. So I never wanted to check and get it looked at or fixed, or I just took it as whatever it was and just enjoyed life. Enjoyed with my boyfriend at the time, to now husband, and just, enjoyed everything with him. From switching from the IUD to the pills, it made my periods even worse. So for sure, I saw 1 period every, in the first 6 months of just taking the birth controls. Well, the IUD, you actually don't get a period. Very faint, like light spotting. Like literally, you can just wear like I never needed a pad or tampon or anything. I was never that heavy. Like little panty liner, and that was all I needed for that when I was on the IUD. However, the pills, when I switched, like I said, with the IUD, I got it maybe every 2 months. Light spotting, that was it. And then when I took it out and then we switched me to the pills, for those 6 months I only got like one period, and it was very, very heavy. And I assumed it was probably because, just being backed up inside. So that's what it was. So that was the first time I actually had to use a tampon and almost an overnight pad because how heavy it was. And the cramping was beyond severe and painful. So I got a little concerned. And then already at the time, me and my husband were already married. We already been together for a while. We already enjoyed kind of life together. Let's say we had decided, let's stop taking birth control. I'll stop taking everything and just kind of wing it. So we try, but not prevent anything. So just enjoyed, just enjoyed being with each other and just, the risk of it could happen, but maybe not. And at that point we were more of, if it happens, it happens. If not, oh well, just keep trying. So I stopped birth control, and like I said, that threw me in a whole other loop. And another 6 months went by and I didn't even have a full period. I had like a light spotting once throughout the whole 6 months. So it made me more concerned that something actually might be wrong with me. So I went to the doctor, and then do the woman's checkup, did all that. They said I was okay. They did tell me once they did the blood work and everything that I did have low vitamin D deficiency and high cholesterol and kind of other stuff. So I wasn't really fully, me and my husband weren't taking care of ourselves health-wise. We were just having fun. So the whole young and dumb. So that's what we were doing. But when I went to the doctors and they were telling me about everything, the doctor was trying to recommend me to go back on birth control to try to regulate me again, but try a different birth control. I flat out told her no, I don't want to put no more birth control at all in my body. I'd rather just let my body heal from those almost 2-3 years of being on birth control. So I said no, I'm not going to take nothing. I refused. I'll just, do whatever I need to do at home to try to regulate it. Which she kind of looked at me funny, but said fine. And then we talked to another doctor, a male doctor, about trying to conceive. He flat out said, oh, well, the best person would test would be my husband. And I'm like, okay. And flat out said, well, if he's nothing wrong, then it's all on to you. I was like, oh, well, thank you. Thank you for telling me that it could be my fault why we can't conceive, which I already kind of was already thinking that. But we were going to get him tested and do all that. But when we saw money-wise, it's like, you know what? It wasn't, at the time, we didn't think it was worth going through all the extra tests. I just went home, literally sat on my phone and Googled everything. So visiting the doctor, being a little discouraged that him telling us that we have plenty of time, don't worry about it, and just let it be. If I'm not going to go back on birth control, it's kind of on me. Why or why not we won't get pregnant. So we left the doctors a little discouraged, but I did find my inner strength, and I said, you know what, I'm going to regulate this period my way somehow or another. So I went home, started Googling everything that I can research. Took me quite a few days to research. So on supplements, teas, anything that I can try to regulate my periods. So, but first off, I'm going to completely say that I'm not professional, not in any kind of health field wise. Like I said, everything was what I found is on Google. So you do all of this on your own chance if you ever want to try what I tried. Like I said, I'm not suggesting it. I'm just saying this is my experience and what I took is, what helped me conceive. So the first thing I read was that Vitex was number one, herbal supplement. It's natural as can be, to regulate periods, to help with cramping and things like that. So I said, okay, I'm going to try that, but I wasn't reading a lot. I didn't see a lot of videos of people taking it and actually working, so I was kind of iffy on trying it, but I said, it's screw it, I'll take it anyways. Along with other vitamins and supplements that I saw that could help me. Other vitamins that can help me maybe regulate my periods. So I tried taking, let's see, so already from the doctors already told me that I had a vitamin D deficiency, because one, I don't like going outside. I don't like the sun. I make a joke that I'm a vampire kind of thing, or I just don't like being outside because one, I already have asthma, and when I'm outside and during the summertime especially, the heat triggers it, so I get really sick. So as it is, I'd rather just stay indoors and just, crochet. As you guys can see the yarn, I love to crochet, so I'll just spin inside. But so vitamin D, I upped my dosage on that. Vitamin C for basic, health. Vitamin B12 I took for, energy wise. The biggest ones that I read to take to try to regulate your period and try to conceive at the same time is prenatals. So it kind of preps your body to get ready to get pregnant. So I took prenatals. I also read that folic acid was really good. Vitamin E, very, very much. Vitamin E said it was really, really good for the menstrual cycle and everything. And then also too, I read was maca root. I was going to try it in a tea, but I found it in pill form, so I took it in a pill form. And just really quick, all these vitamins, they're not extremely expensive. Like, I bought all mine from Walmart, $2, $3, $4 for all of them. The only one that I didn't buy from Walmart is because I couldn't find it was the Vitex. The Vitex, I had to go to like a special vitamin shop that sold it. Otherwise, it was just ordering it online. And so there's that. And then on top of all the supplements and vitamins that I can take, I read that the red raspberry tea leaf was really good for menstrual as well. So at that point, I was like, well, what the hell? I'll try anything just to regulate my periods, because at the time I wasn't full blown mindset to conceive. It was more of just to regulate me first. And then once I get some kind of regulation, then try to conceive later. So for about 4 weeks, on the Vitex, it tells you like a dosage you're supposed to take for every couple weeks. So I took the maximum dosage for the first 4 weeks, along with everything else. Drank the tea every single morning, since normally I don't like hot tea, but I drink it super early in the morning, so at least I can seem kind of refreshing. Took that for about 4 weeks, and then the Vitex, I slowly decreased it throughout another 4 weeks. So the whole time of taking the supplements was just basic, except the Vitex, it would just jump between what it was. I believe it was supposed to be actually 8 weeks, but I started noticing that I was getting a little too hormonal. So I was getting a little bit of too much mood swings with my husband, so he didn't really like of me just snapping and changing my mood so much. And even I noticed it too, that I was very sensitive, which normally I'm not. So so I lowered the dosage faster than what normally is, but everybody's different. It all depends on how much hormonal imbalance you have and what exactly you're lacking. So I just took everything like normal, ended up just taking 1 pill of everything every single day. And I do it every morning with the tea. And then along with that, they said that stress was also a very big factor on why periods could be irregular, besides the vitamin D. So I try to do like meditation, try to just relax and de-stress, because I naturally have a lot of anxiety. And then I even went back to work. So going back to work, I started me and my husband started to work out. We started to eat a little bit better. We didn't do like a drastic diet change, but we cut back like on junk food, because we're young, dumb. We walked to the 99-cent stores where we're at the time we were living at was really close, so we walked there and just bag of chips and soda, so just we cut a lot of junk food out like that. Start cooking more at home, that kind of thing. It made a difference. I won't lie. So after about 6 months, just doing the basic changes, I did notice a little bit of a difference. With more water, workout, I did notice my skin getting a little bit better. Besides, I thought the prenatals taking that effect, but my skin was getting better. I wasn't so moody or hormonal. My mood swings weren't so bad anymore either. And in 6 months, instead of only getting 1 period, I got 3. So, and the cramping and the bleeding, everything wasn't so severe. So I said, okay, so it's somewhat working. That's probably the most periods I've had all year in the last 3 years. So it was almost on time, but I would get it every 2 months instead of, every 6 months. So there was an improvement over a long period of time. So I did notice that right away. Let's see. Oh, and then even after, seeing that change, I got a little excited. So I started temping. Maybe along the temping, I can see the body changes and do all that. Figured maybe you can start tracking when I ovulate. Which temping is very, very tedious. So for those who have actually done it and, it worked for them, kudos to you, because I stopped after, I think, like 2-3 months of doing it because it just got too tedious. Half the time I'd either forget or I actually wasn't seeing any fluctuations at all. I'd almost have like the same straight line almost all the way through, like tiny little wiggles here and there. Once in a blue moon was a spike and I couldn't even read the spike right. So, I kind of just stopped and, figured I might as well just go back to letting it be. If it's meant to be, it's going to happen, and, try but not prevent nothing. So we just had fun, which is very relaxing when you get to that point where you can just not stress about, trying to conceive and then trying to prevent it as well. So it was actually pretty fun not having that stress, during, our intimate time. So, sorry for a little TMI there. But, so we tried the temping. It wasn't for us. It didn't work. But mind you, throughout this whole time that I'm doing it, I'm still taking the same supplements. I was still taking, the teas, everything. I was just taking it right on schedule. Kind of like, I treated it like a birth control myself. Just on time every single day. And then just didn't change it. And then at the time, actually, me and my husband were living in our own apartment. So we had said, you know what, let's try to actually push to conceive more. So we thought, let's buy some ovulation strips. And then I was going to start doing that. However, life, always comes when you least expect it. So life happened, and we had to do some big changes. So we no longer live on our own. We actually moved back in with my mother. So she's been helping us out with that. So like I said, so the life hit us at a surprise. And like I said, if you guys are curious about all that, I can always explain that in a little later, because after this video I want to try to continue doing a series of, my progress in my pregnancy. But during the life changes is when I forgot literally about the ovulation strips, because, at the time we weren't thinking about trying to conceive a baby. We were just trying to stay afloat because, life got us at a surprise. So we put the box away and we forgot all about it. So that's actually catching up to this year, in 2019. So by June, everything, seemed to kind of settle. I was still working. My husband found a new job and he was working. And then we started, June, July, a whole bunch of parties, holidays, kind of thing. So it was my best friend's little sister's birthday. We went with her to go celebrate. I think she was just turning 21. So we went to have fun, drink, hang out, that kind of party stuff. And I think it was Memorial Day that month as well, I think, or it was the next month. I don't remember exactly what order, but I know it was her birthday in June. I think it was 4th of July and then Memorial. I believe it's put it like that. I don't know. I don't have a brain for that right now. But so we were just partying up all of those 2 months. And we had finally saved enough money because we had our dreams of, getting our first tattoos, doing all that. So, we were just having a blast. And by the middle of July, I started noticing little differences in my body. Mind you, I still took everything, but I just didn't notice. And I was still just, all this year, I was just getting my period every 2 months. So, I figured it was from all the stress of life changing is why my body was going back to kind of normal, but not normal. However, June was a weird month. Like I said, besides when the dust finally started to settle, I did get periods 2 months back to back, which was cool. I was like, oh, how exciting. Hopefully, third month, we'll have fun again and we'll try it. And little did we know, it actually worked. The 1 month that we were actually, partying up and having fun, turns out after her birthday of drinking, 4th of July drinking, I think Memorial Day of drinking, and getting our tattoos, turns out I was pregnant. And doing all of that. But I didn't find out I was pregnant till 6 weeks pregnant is when I found out, because I started noticing the changes in my body. I started noticing that, a period I was missed, but I thought it was regular because, I was already irregular periods. So I figured, oh, it's no biggie. I'm just missing another month. And then I started noticing that my boobs all around my breast area was getting very tender. So I was like, huh. And normally around my period time is when they get tender. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to get my period. And then 4 weeks go by and still nothing. So I'm like, okay, something's a little funny. And I start getting very sensitive again. Where I was working at, we were working with animals. So when an animal would leave or they get taken away, I'd start being extra crybaby about it. And I'm like, that's starting to seem a little different. And my mother actually noticed, and so did my nephew, because since we're living with them right now at the time, they start noticing changes before I did. And they start, pointing the finger, oh my God, you're pregnant. And I was like, no, it's not. It's impossible. There's no regular periods. So, yeah, we actually ended up testing, just because everyone kept pointing the finger at me, that you're pregnant. And it's like, nah, just to prove everybody wrong, I was gonna, take it and, shove it in everyone's faces. So, with everyone pointing the finger at me, I was gonna, take the test, showed it off, and say, no, you're all wrong, ha ha ha. So I took it early one morning, right before my husband was about to go to work, since he goes to work in the mornings. I didn't go to work till later in the noon, and it actually turned out positive, and we were in complete shock. And I said, no, that's impossible. But we were in shock about it, so we just still, we're not going to say nothing. We're just going to go to work and just do our day. So when I got out of work, I ended up going back to the store, and I bought 5 more tests, pregnancy tests. Came home, and I tested all of them. So yeah, if anything, I'll post a quick video of, seeing all the tests pop up. You're pregnant, and I was like, oh my God. Like I said, and yeah. But that's just pretty much catching up to right when, finding out we're pregnant at 6 weeks. No, that same week we found out we were pregnant. We ended up going to the doctors, and they confirmed I was pregnant, and they confirmed I was 6 weeks, so I had to wait another week before I can do an ultrasound and things like that. So we kept quiet, hush hush for the whole week without telling anybody that we were pregnant. Right before we went to the actual doctors to get the ultrasound, I ended up telling my mom, I'm pregnant. So she was all excited and super happy. So she was one of the first ones. Besides my sister-in-law, we had told her first, but that was because I didn't know what the hell to do. Once he saw a pregnancy test that actually came out positive. And she had just had a baby, so I figured she'd probably be the best one to ask. So she's the first one, technically. And then I told my mom. And so I just left it at that. And then we went to the ultrasound. And at the ultrasound, it was really, heartwarming to see that, we actually did it without actually trying the 1 month we didn't try. But we did it. And the biggest surprise, besides, you know, getting pregnant in general, it turns out we're having twins. Yeah, we're having, and right away they were able to confirm it was going to be identical twins. So, with that, we just got more, I got overly emotional because here we were trying to conceive but not conceive for almost a year, and I ended up having two when I was just praying for just a miracle of one. So yeah, that was a fun and crazy surprise to all of us. And on top of that, twins aren't common in either of our families, so none on my husband's side and none on my side. So that was even bigger surprise. So I don't know if it's exactly all the supplements I took, or I'm just a freak of nature that ended up with twins. For all I know, it could be. I honestly strongly believe it's the supplements. Because like I said, there's no twins in the family, so there's how other way can there be twins coming out? So I strongly believe the supplements did it. I don't know which one, but I know something worked, and somehow in all the combination it worked, and I don't know if that's how it guaranteed me twins, or in general I just believe that's how it just got me pregnant. But yeah, that's my quick story of how I ended up conceiving, taking all these supplements. Vitex was a very big one. The only fear I had was I had to wing myself off once I found out I was pregnant, because you can't take it when you're pregnant. So instead of taking one every day, I take one every 2 days for a week, and then next week, you know, every 2 days, and slowly just work myself off like that. And when I actually talked to the doctors about it, they couldn't flat out tell me, I cannot confirm nor deny that's how you're pregnant. So yeah, I strongly believe, you know, Vitex probably did it, and along with everything else, well, I feel like all of it together helped me conceive one, let alone two, conceive two. But yeah, hope you enjoy. Like I said, I am going to do a series of my pregnancy, because, you know, finding out I'm having twins, turns out I'm a very high risk pregnancy, and it's been one crazy journey already. But yeah, hopefully, you know, it gives you some point of view. If you guys tend to try it, let me know down in the comments if it actually worked. If somebody actually comes up pregnant from trying all the supplements, let me know. I would be super thrilled, because that'd be crazy. But that means we're coming along somewhere that can help everybody else as well. But yeah, give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe for more. Like I said, I'm going to do more content based on my pregnancy. So yeah, have a good one, guys. Thank you for everyone who actually took the time to watch my video. Bye.